always intimidated following a presentation from an incredibly talented exploration geologist such as Andrew. I'll bring the IQ level down a little bit. Just a simple mining geologist, but I've spent almost 20 years working in high-grade gold, helped to build some of the biggest gold companies around. Northern Star's one of the companies that I worked for, along with some of the other people in the room that have obviously gone on to great success. Darren Cook also impressing with that amazing copper deposit in Newfoundland. Bit of gold in WA, that's where I feel pretty comfortable. That's what we're doing. That is an old photo. Unfortunately, we're still drilling and we're still finding, fortunately. Still finding ounces in front of our established infrastructure, and that's kind of a difference I want to point out, is that we are an exploration company having turned our mill off, stopped mining operations, preserved the value of our asset, which at that time was quite small, 80,000 ounces for our first resource, and we finished last year with a 952,900 ounce at 5.74 grams a tonne, 600 metres from that plant. Thank you. Board and team, my chairman is sitting in the front row, just here. Just a few metrics there. Obviously, we closed at 47 cents, so this number, the market cap is a little bit small. Major shareholders, Tembo, Deutsche Balaton, and as of Beaver Creek Conference last year, I was pleased to welcome 1832 Asset Management, one of the largest precious metals funds in the world, to the register. They believe in what we're doing. Board on the right-hand side there, very experienced. I'll rush through this. Group mineral resources, the really key takeaways here is that we've added 1 million ounces to the Dalgaranga Gold Project, our flagship. Almost 1.7 million ounces at 2.49 grams a tonne within 2 kilometres of an existing plant. It's not easy to build a plant or cheap at the moment. That plant is less than 5 years old. Yes, we did turn it off in 22, but we are building high-grade ounces in front of it. Never Never gold deposit, and I sneakily and subliminally put some Never Never here. That's where the name comes from, South Australian gin. We will be going over there during the gather round with Resources Rising Stars in April. Looking forward to that. Also enjoy partaking in the gin. I'll run a bit of a quiz and give away these bottles a little bit later. So just over 5 million tonnes, 5.74 for 950,000 ounces, as I said. We've got 5 rigs drilling at the moment, and our focus is high grade. The old project, I started at the company with 760,000 ounces at 1.6, and it was very difficult times. We weren't getting great margin through the mill. It was very difficult mining, very high cost. And for us to turn that plant off and believe in that discovery that we made sort of midway through 22, to have the courage from the board level supporting the decision to turn that plant off. And obviously that had a major impact on our share price. And we had no friends in February last year. We obviously have quite a few friends now. That's where we are, just outside of Mount Magnet. It's a key point. Mount Magnet has mined and explored for almost 100 years consecutively. It's one of the oldest mining areas in Australia. And I just had this overwhelming belief that if there could be 6 million ounces in 100 years of operation in Mount Magnet, and we're 47 k's away on a greenstone belt with gold, why can't it be at least 1 million ounces? This is our tenement package. I'll just zoom in here. Won't spend much time there, but this is the key part of the Dalgaranga Gold Project. You've got the Gilbey's Pit in white there. I might just take my pen off. That's the Gilbey's Pit. That's Never Never. And that is the plant. That's how close it is. 600 metres away, you've got almost 1 million ounces. We've got 5 rigs on that at the moment, and we are extending that ore body. I'm pretty excited. I can't really talk about a lot of what's going on at the moment, but those 5 rigs are very busy. I've got some pretty happy geos. That's our plant. Looking back at Never Never towards the west, you've got Never Never in the elliptical area just in front of the plant. You've got Gilbey's just off to the left. So what happened early on was a discussion with the geologists when I first came into this company, and that was in November 21. They were being pretty beaten and battered. Reconciliation wasn't going well. Lots of people were pointing fingers at geologists, as normally happens when things aren't going well. And I walked into that team and I just said, look, your boss, he was a geo, he is a geo, I'm now the boss. I don't expect you to follow me, but what I want to do is take the opportunity to give you guys the support you need to test your ideas. And almost unanimously, they pointed out the window to follow up 8 metres at 3.9 grams a tonne from 24 metres under the ground, pretty much in front of that pit. And the fact that they hadn't been followed up, I don't know exactly what went down there, but that we followed that up straight away. And obviously we made a pretty significant discovery, which was actually just the extension to the Gilbey sequence, which is a stratigraphic package that hosts lower grade gold. But I was determined to find the high grade aspect. As I've said, foundation, what we have is a great plant, less than 6 years old. I keep saying 5, but that was last year, six this year. Great plant, built by GR Engineering, pretty out-of-the-box solution, gravity circuit, all the things you want. It's been sitting in a high state of readiness, and we've just been building this high-grade resource in front of it. We're funded. We've got $39 million. At the end of last quarter, we raised 25 at 40 cents last year, just to make sure that we weren't exposed to any fluctuations in the market, which seems to be a bit of a genius move. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And we're focused, high grade. It's very simple. I'm not particularly smart when it comes to geology, but when I look at these kind of opportunities, you've got a high grade deposit sitting in front of a plant. We're only getting valued on our exploration upside at the moment. There's almost no value built in for the plant. But if you tried to build a plant like that at the moment, $200–300 million, pretty easily. That's looking along the Gilbey's pit, back towards Never Never at the far end there, the plant on the right-hand side. That's just to give you some idea of the current environment that we're in. It is an old mining centre. I've had a lot of, I suppose, comparisons done on this pit. Someone put a super pit outline on that yesterday, and it wasn't actually that much bigger than what we're looking at there. So if you're talking about large-scale gold operations, this certainly has the potential to head large-scale. That's looking back towards the east, towards the plant. You've got 3 rigs where the red arrows are, Never Never right in front of it. That rig that's sitting in the foreground there is drilling a 990-metre hole. If we hit that ore body, which is mineralised from surface and provides a 2.3-gram open pit, 600 metres from the plant, and almost 800,000 extra ounces on top of that, and we hit it at 990 metres, we've only got a resource down to just over 500 at the moment. That's going to be a significant intercept. Doesn't matter which way you look at it. Some of these drill hits here, and I did roll this out at the Gold Coast last year, and I've updated it since then. Top 20 drill hits, they average 317 gram metres. Now, the reason I put it in gram metres is to try and make it comparable to other deposits. If I just put it in simple terms, that's equivalent to 10 metres at over an ounce. And if you think about how much an ounce is worth, and you've got top 20 drill holes that are all grading that sort of grade, it's not hard to believe that in 18 months we've taken this to almost 1 million ounces. That's the ore body looking back towards the east, ounces per vertical metre. And when people say ounces per vertical metre, just sort of put your head in that space. If I say the average is almost 1,700 ounces per vertical metre, that's a vertical metre, roughly. And we've got almost 1,700 ounces. Substantial. Diamond drilling, again, just to give you a bit of a feel about what we're doing, sitting right next to the waste dump. I do love spinning this video around. I love toys. That's a long section. I just want to provide a comparison. These are old drill hits, late last year. This is to give you an idea of how fast this thing is developing. We found Never Never as a structural offset to the main stratigraphy. That was 140 metres and then extended out to 300 metres along strike from that open pit that was being unsuccessfully mined. What we then did was take that information that we learned from Never Never and applied it back to that open pit that was sitting behind us, and we realised that there's actually a couple more of these structures. While they may not have the grade or the endowment of Never Never at this stage, they certainly are much higher grade than what was previously being mined. And if those are focused on, you're talking 30 to 50 metre wide intervals at much higher grade than what was being mined before. You add that to Never Never, you've got some pretty strong mining scenarios. That's what it looks like today. That's what we put out on Tuesday. I was pretty happy to put this out, 16.65 metres at over 10 grams a tonne from 625 metres down hole. So this thing is mineralised from surface to over 600 metres down, and we're drilling beneath that at the moment. On the right-hand side, as I said, Gilbey's is just growing. That system has 4 pillars and west winds, the 2 high-grade shoots. You can see there's a third one there that's looking a bit like a boomerang. That's starting to develop as well, so we'll be working on that as well and you know, making sure that that 2.5 million tonne plant has plenty of feed in front of it, plenty of options, and very, you know, I hate to say it, but this is a pretty low-risk opportunity. You know, we aren't in operation. Some people say that's a bad thing. We could be benefiting from the high gold price. But as Darren said before, gold doesn't rust. We're just building a bigger and bigger system and more options. This is a cross-section. I got given a little bit of grief about not being able to explain why there was an apparent thinning of some of the intercepts, and I'll just draw a line through here. There's a few intercepts, 6 metres at 33 grams a tonne. And I got a phone call. That's a bit skinny. Some people would kill for that kind of intercept, right? Like when you think about it, most high-grade gold mines are running 3 metre wide ore zones at 5 to 10 grams if they're lucky. So a 6 metre at 33 was disappointing. That's context for you, right? So what I did, put a cross-section together. There is a flexure. It's basically a shear zone. Runs through Never Never. It's a late-stage structure, not unexpected. We were waiting for some disruption. But what we've just proven is beneath that shear zone, which just basically displaces the ore body to the south slightly and upward slightly, we've got thick high grade. That's the bottom of the resource there for context. We're right at the bottom of the resource, still hitting 16 metre wide intercepts at over 10 grams. You don't think this thing goes beyond 1 million ounces very quickly? I don't know what to say. This is old drilling, but I do like to show this. This is how we're piecing together the resource. This is how consistent this is. We are drilling straight into this high-grade zone. It is getting better at depth. You see these 2 drill holes here? They look pretty bad. We looked at them and thought, well, what's happened to the ore body? But you fast forward, that area was actually this flexure zone. Those drill holes were right here. The whole ore body shifted slightly to the south, and we've picked it up. And as Andrew just famously said, there's mineralisation in that core that we're seeing coming back from those drill holes. We don't know what the grade is yet, but we have an expectation it's going to be pretty similar to the stuff we've seen before. With full respect. This is Never Never. This is the old resource. I have to say I have to update these images. But this is just to give some context. When you spin it around, that's the Gilbey's pit there. That's the Never Never block model. The old resource, 721,000 ounces. Sorry, we smashed that. This thing just keeps going. This is the Gilbey's mineralisation. There's a few drill hits through there. Again, we'll update this shortly. But those are 2 gram a tonne blocks in the old block model. This ore body at the bottom of that pit was 30 to 50 metres wide. It's not hard to imagine bulk scenario, lower grade against a higher grade feed from Never Never, filling that mill for a considerable period of time, and that's what we're focused on proving. And it doesn't stop there. Just around the corner here, Sly Fox and Plymouth. These are 2 prospects that were not really followed up that strongly, and this Sly Fox deposit on the right here, sorry, I'll just get my stuff together here. This one just here is actually running at the same dip and plunge as Never Never, but almost 1.5 kilometres away. This was the highest grade prospect on this tenure before we discovered Never Never. We just haven't got to it yet. We're getting to it now, part of the plan for this year is to get stuck into shallower high grade while focusing on increasing Never Never. So we're trying to offset the increasing cost of drilling deeper holes at Never Never, doesn't seem to be stopping, and putting some more high grade, shallower stuff on that resource table to really bring up the project ounces. What are we doing? We're super active. We're drilling. We're doing geophysics. We've got a lot of projects underway, metallurgical test work, mining engineering, geological, a lot of scenario analysis. Obviously, we want to work out whether this thing makes money and how much it makes, how quickly. Unfortunately, we keep building bigger resources, so it's a moving feast at the moment. We're just going to keep drilling. We're adding a COO to the team. He's coming in, mining engineer. I need a senior mining engineer to come in and keep driving that project work so I can come and talk to lovely people like yourself about what we're finding and why it's a great time to invest in Spartan. Proven, proven, proven. Just the last one there, I get asked this a lot. Are we a target? I don't actually mind. Like, we're busy doing what we're doing. If we become a target because we're building ounces that other people need, great. But we're on our own path. That's why I renamed the company Spartan. Kerry has a different idea about why I called it Spartan. But we are Spartan, a small team of people that just get things done. And that's it.